Hello students, this is Suraj Rasar here. Now, as you know, I am trying to compare the question paper with your syllabus, and I had considered this question paper, to so that at least the important part will be covered through your syllabus, and in similar way, there can be we can have a little bit revision about mobile computing course also. So in previous sessions, I have tried to cover what is mobile computing, okay, and in which you might be understood the difference between mobile network and stable network. That is, in actual way, why does this mobile network is created and why you are learning this course and so on. So you might be understood the actual difference between stable network and mobile network. Even though if you try to see this question that is how does mobile network work, so you should refer the same sessions to understand this thing also, and in fact compare mobile IP and LAN IP. Okay, so little bit some points from the previous sessions are related to the theory required to write down the answer for this question. Okay, just only some points. I'm not saying that exactly, or it covers the whole solution required for this question number 2, or it might be COA. So today, in fact, in brief introduction, I'll try to explain you the solutions for question number 2. It might be compare mobile IP and LAN IP, or what is COA, that is clear of address and all, so on. Okay, so since we have already covered the theory related to the comparison between the m-commerce, that is, sorry, not m-commerce, the mobile network and stable network. So it was the question, I have already asked you this question: how does the mobile network differ from stable network? And I had already uploaded its solution also on Edge. You can go through it. So same answer you should refer to understand this asked question. Okay, here, how does mobile network work, or what is mobile computing and so on. Even though some part of that explanation also you can refer to answer this compare mobile IP and LAN IP in detail and so on, or some points for this what is CO, that is clear of address also. So I had already explained you. Okay, you should explain the first of all the working of stable network, try to explain how does IP allocation is done and so on. Okay, even though you can go through again that uploaded session where I have explained this point in more depth. Okay, and how does it differ and what are the important points in this stable network. Okay, that is, how does it differ from mobile network. Okay, that is IP allocation part also I have already explained in this case. And even though I had explained its working also in more depth, I had considered one example, real-time example also, like this end user might be searching something through internet, or the for two end devices are this end user and the server and so on. Okay, so this was explanation for stable network. And even though I had explained the working of mobile network also, okay, how does it differs from the stable network, even though in short only I had given you some points to explain the differences. You should refer those points, that is what is IP addressing, what is range, that is based on range you should explain some point, based on IP addressing you should explain some points, that is involvement of multiple networks in communication. It might be home or it might be foreign. As in this example, we already seen that how does the user will have network access or network connectivity even though that user has entered into foreign network and so on. Even though you can compare the stable network and mobile network with respect to the switching networks without interrupting the client and server communication based information. Okay, that is, how does this when user is going to enter into foreign network and without having interrupt, how does this another ISP or another network provides the services to that particular end user who has entered into foreign network, in short through ISP1, and how does the communication takes place between the end device and this server basically. So this thing also you can explain, and even though multiple ISPs involvement. So in this way you can mention your explanation to answer that question. Okay, so this was little bit. No, I had explained you the first unit in more depth. Okay, since we don't have time, so just overall just only I will try to explain what how could be the possible solution for the asked questions in this question paper. So now let's see the next point, that is mobile IP. Okay, little bit the theory is similar, that is what is care of address or what is mobile IP. Okay, so for this purpose again, let's consider the mobile network. Okay, I had explained you what is mobile network, and in similar manner you can explain its theory also. Okay, so since this is just only a brief revision about the completed syllabus, okay, I am not going to explain you in more depth. Okay, I will directly consider one example so that it will be better to understand how does in actual way how does internet works in mobile network. Okay, and I have confidence about this that you will understand it in a very easy way. Okay, so right now we are going to learn what is mobile network. Okay, so before mobile network, that is in the sense what is care of it. So before starting with its theory part, okay, first of all I would like to consider one real time example. Okay, just wait for a moment, let me draw first of all this diagram. Okay, and those who were present for that lecture, they can remind just or they can have just only a revision about the same, since I had already explained you the same for part while learning our theory session. Okay, just wait for a moment, let me draw first of all this diagram so that you can understand it in a better way. Okay, so say this is your home network. Okay, now in mobile network, what is home network concept also I had already explained you, that is when we can call it as a home network. Okay, only when the user is not informing or say the user is not available within home network. Okay, user is not available in foreign network. And considered, say this is suppose foreign network. Okay, now okay, see when we can say that this is a foreign network, in short, if it is ruled or controlled by another ISP. So in short, this will be another ISP's region. Okay, I had already explained the same part in previous theory session. You can refer that theory session. Okay, and let's say this is ISP1, that is in short home network. See, this is just only for understanding purpose. Okay, as I had mentioned that already I had covered this portion or same part in previous theory sessions during our normal academic days, but still you can refer the same theory session also. Okay, just wait a moment, let me draw first of all this diagram so that you can understand it in a very better way. Okay, and then I will start with its explanation. Okay, so say consider those are wireless stations available in the respective networks. Okay, this is wireless station of home network, this is wireless station, this is wireless station of foreign network. Okay, I'm just writing here as wireless station say this is wireless station of another network. Okay, again this ISP will have two major components, okay, and this ISP2 will have again two major components. Okay, so first one is, okay, again the respective internet service providers will have home agent and foreign agent. Okay, so I'm just writing here as a home agent. This is home agent and this is foreign agent. See, this diagram is just only for understanding purpose, or you can write down its explanation by considering this diagram also. Okay, even though during our normal theory sessions I had drawn this diagram only, so you can explain its explanation through same diagram only. It's not like you should refer this diagram only, but it's up to you. Okay, so here right now our diagram is ready, so let's start with its explanation. As I know, I have already told you that, okay, basically this wireless station, okay, is further connected to the internet service provider, and internet service provider will be further connected to the internet, in short, that is public network. In similar way, this ISP2 will have the connectivity that is from internet service provider to wireless station and so on. And in short, okay, this internet service provider will have two components. Okay, first one is foreign agent and next one is home agent. Okay, as usual we all listen this part, and obviously this is end server. Okay, for understanding purpose I am going to consider one example. Okay, so this example, this explanation I had already given you while theory session. So again, based on same thing, I am going to consider one real-time example so that you can understand how does mobile network works and what is tier of address or what is mobile IP and so on. Okay, so now here let's consider a very simple example. Let's say, okay, let's consider a very simple example where let's say there is end user, okay, who is searching on internet, okay, and the user is searching on internet for something. So consider, say this is the end user, okay, end user in the sense, let's say this is a smartphone. Okay, let me draw first of all diagram. So this is the end user, okay, and okay, so also we have already seen that how does the information is transferred through various components to the internet service provider basically. Okay, so let's consider a very simple example. Let's say this user is of Airtel's user. Okay, so I'm just writing here that this home network or this ISP1 covers the Airtel's network only. This is just only for understanding purpose. It's not like, okay, and this is suppose Idea's network only. Okay, so basically, okay, this range, okay, as in previous theory session also I had already explained you, that is each network, each service provider will have their own range. Okay, so this is, let's say, the network area coverage, okay, which is denoted with range, and in similar manner this Idea or another ISP will have its own range. Okay, so when this mobile phone is going to turn on, first of all, okay, it will try to deliver the request to this internet service provider one through this wireless station. Okay, and while delivering the connection request, first of all, this device will try to share some information with this wireless station, with this internet service provider to have access to the network basically. Okay, so while some information. Okay, that is first thing is okay the SIM information. Okay, I'm just writing here. Okay, next thing is it will try to deliver, that is based on SIM it will try to fetch the information based on DSISDN. Okay, then next thing is it will try to deliver the information based on your handset or your device, that is IMEI. Actually I can understand this is not visible in clear way, but just try to understand. I think it is readable, but you can read it in an easy way, even though it is not looking clear or it is blurry content, but you can understand. This is IMEI. Okay, I hope right now it is visible and you can read it in an easy way. See, what is the thing is, previously I had written here PSDN. Okay, because if it is public network based device, then here it should come as a PSDN. Since this is a personal device, that is your smartphone or mobile device, okay, which is considered as personal device. Okay, so that's why based on this here the MSISDN will come. Okay, now what is this is, I will see, while using your smartphone, okay, it is used with SIM card, okay, which includes your MSISDN information. Now what is SIM is? SIM card is it is nothing but in short subscriber identity module, okay, which is provided by your internet service provider. Okay, so in short here your internet service provider is this Airtel. Okay, and Airtel have provided you the SIM card, okay, which is included with the MSISDN. Okay, so this ISP provides you the SIM card and which is included with the MSISDN this information. Now, what is MSISDN? Very simple thing. It is in short your 10-digit mobile number. Okay, so 10-digit mobile number in the sense this is nothing but in short mobile subscriber integrity system digital network number. Okay, this is MSISDN. Basically your SIM includes this information. So as you know, when this mobile device will turn on, okay, basically it is going to deliver the connection request to the internet service provider. Okay, and while delivering this request it will include this sort of information. And last one is IMEI. Okay, it is international mobile equipment identity, that is when such kind of devices are manufactured. Okay, so it provides with some hardware based unique identity. So this is nothing but this IMEI number. As this is just since revision part, you might be remind this part, that is what is saying MSISDN, IMEI and so on. So you should explain those points, okay, while delivering what is care of address part, because right now we are looking at what is the example is this mobile device is turned on and it is going to deliver the connection request to the internet service provider so that this mobile device will have access to the network. Okay, so this is in short here, okay, the range of this ISP, and it will have again range. And as we have already seen that while delivering the connection request through this wireless station to the internet service provider to have access to the network, it will try to deliver some sort of information which will be included with these 3 points, that is subscriber identity module, this mobile subscriber integrity system digital network number, and IMEI number in short, which is in short your hardware based information. So this is sort of information which has to be passed from this mobile device through wireless station. Now when this ISP will receive this information, okay, it will understand that this mobile user is registered within its own network. So based on that, okay, it will try to allocate one home agent, okay, to that particular end user, and based on that what this home agent will do, it will it will try to assign one IP address to this mobile device. Okay, now here in short, the IP address which will be assigned by this home agent will be will have uniqueness within this home network only. Always remember. Okay, so this is one part. So for understanding purpose, let's consider that okay, this is the IP address which is assigned to this mobile network only. I'm just writing as an IP here, I'm not writing in model. Okay, the IP address can be anything, it can be any local IP address, it might be based on IP version 4 or it might be based on IP version 6 also. So even though it's not necessary, as I have already explained you that this home network may consist of multiple wireless stations. Okay, so in short, the combination of multiple wireless station forms its own network. Okay, so just remember this thing that it's not like just only one wireless station is available within this home network. Okay, now considered, say, after having network access to this end device, right now suppose this mobile is downloading some information from any website. Or okay, let's say this is the iOS user or this is the Android user. So this is the iOS user, then that user might be installing some application from App Store, okay, or so on, in anything. Okay, now suppose the pertaining server is this server, okay, through which this end user is downloading some content. Obviously we have already seen how does internet network, how does internet works, in which what are the used components in that case, and what is the flow. So in short, what will be flow to share the information between those end devices. This is first end device, that is server, and this is another end device. So what will be flow is from this mobile device to the wireless station to the internet service provider, and through public network again it will be exchanging the information from the server. So this will be basically the flow or the communication path which is maintained, through which the information is exchanged between two end devices. Okay, now since according to rules and regulations, also I had already explained you that how does this server can recognize this end user. Okay, so obviously there are so many protocols maintained, out of which one kind of protocol is like session layer is very active during such kind of communication. Okay, so once the user has requested the communication request to that particular end server, it will try to store each information based on the session or rest of the things also. Okay, so and the key fact behind IP allocation is also I have already told you that how does that internet service provider or any access point manages the particular device which is available within network. Okay, so once the IP address is assigned, it will try to this IP address will be always referenced when that particular smartphone or device is available within that particular home network. And even though based on same IP address recognition, the end server will try to recognize that end user only. Okay, and even though here if you see the last user which is known to this public internet is in short this internet service provider 1, which will have some public IP address. So it is fine that the last known device to the public users through that internet is in short this ISP1. But in short, okay, at the end this mobile device is acting as the end device which will have this IP address. So this server, okay, even though till the level through which the communication is happening between those end devices, it might be mobile and server. Okay, this server will try to recognize this end device through this allocated IP address only. Okay, so just keep this thing in mind, because when this mobile device will be disconnected with the network, okay, and again it will try to re-attempt for the network access. In the next time, this foreign agent may assign some different IP address also. Okay, this is one possibility. It's not necessary that it should always assign a different IP address, because based on the previous sessions, this IP address, the next time allocated IP address can be in similar way the same also. Okay, but the session information might be changed, due to which next time this server may not recognize this user. This is the important theory behind it. Okay, so right now it is fine that through this ISP1's network this user is communicating to the server. Okay, now suppose due to some reason, okay, let's say, okay, this user is moving around, okay, and this user is entered into another network's region. Okay, another network's region in the sense, let's say the network, okay, which is established or provided by this ISP2, that is Internet Service Provider 2. For example, you can consider there is a region where just only Idea's network is available and Airtel's network is not available. Okay, this is just only for understanding purpose I am telling you. Okay, so user has entered into right now in a foreign network, suppose. Okay, so let me move this part here again. Okay, right now suppose this user has entered into foreign network. Okay, so again in similar manner, okay, when this mobile device, this smartphone device, wait a second, let me draw it again. Okay, so when this mobile device will enter into foreign network, okay, where another ISP's network is available. Okay, so in that case, let's say this is entered into foreign network. So in that case, again, obviously here you can see that the range of home network is not available. So in similar way, this user will try to communicate to the Internet Service Provider 2 through this wireless station. Okay, and further this request will be delivered to the Internet Service Provider 2. Okay, now based on this sort of information only, okay, this ISP2 will try to recognize this user. Now this ISP2, that is Idea Cellular Network, or whatever the ISP2 is there, okay, which we have considered as a foreign network part. Okay, so it will understand that since this user is not registered within my network, so I should search where this user is actually registered. So through their internal link, again this ISP2 will search through the received requested information across all internet service providers. Okay, now based on that request, okay, it will forward this request to the internet service provider 1. Okay, so when this internet service provider 1 will receive this request, it will acknowledge, or it will understand that yes, this user is registered into my network. So based on that, again, okay, it will try to deliver back the confirmation about the same thing. Okay. Now again, each ISP may have some contract between them. That is, if let's say my user has entered into your network, then just try to provide the services to my user. Okay, and whatever be the understanding has been done between us, so it may vary. Okay, so there will be mutual understanding between two internet service providers. Based on that, this another ISP2 will try to provide network access to the end user which has registered into another network. Okay, so based on that, this when this ISP1 will receive the request, forwarded request from another ISP2, it will send back the confirmation to the another ISP2. Now in this case, okay, what it will do in that case is this ISP2 will try to assign one foreign agent to that particular end device. Okay, and based on that, again this foreign agent will try to manage everything related to the mobile device. Okay, which is considered as a foreign user for this another ISP2. Now in this case, as here also we have already seen that this ISP1 is trying to first of all allocates one IP address to that particular end device. Now in similar way here also this foreign agent will try to assign one IP address to the foreign device or foreign user. Okay, so in short, the allocated IP address will be it will have just authentication for temporary purpose. Okay, that is even though that IP address will be valid for temporary reason only, that is when this user is available into this foreign network only, during that session only this IP address will be considered. When this user will be disconnected from the ISP2's network, this IP address will be vanished or deleted from the reference values. Okay, so here the foreign agent will be assigned by that ISP2, and that foreign agent will assign one IP address to this mobile device, which is nothing but in short temporary IP address. Now this temporary IP address is nothing but the care of address. Very important thing, always remember. Okay, very simple theory behind it. It's not critical or complicated theory. Okay, now this is fine that the IP allocation part is done. Okay, that is COA, that is one temporary IP address will be assigned to that mobile device, and this mobile device can access services of this ISP1 through this network. Always remember, very important thing. Again I am repeating same thing. This mobile device will try to access the services of ISP1 only, not of ISP2 services. Always remember, because here in this case it's not like this device is connected to the ISP2's network, since it is going to use all services comes under this idea or another internet service provider. In short, this mobile device is trying to access the services of Airtel, that is its home ISP only, even though it has entered into foreign network. Okay, and how it is done is the flow or the sequence will be okay from the wireless station from ISP2, okay, through public network, from ISP1 again through public network to the particular server or whatever the services this user wish to access or use. Okay, so don't get confused again. Okay, so here in this case care of address is also very important. Okay, so you should know what is care of address right now, and you should know this theory that even though that user is entered into ideas or another or foreign network, okay, it is trying to access all services of that particular ISP1 through that particular ISP2 only. It is not like it is accessing the services of idea. Very simple example. Okay, services are so many services. Very simple thing. Okay, like calling services there. Okay, so call, then sending SMS, then I'm sorry, I'm not good in drawing, just try to consider it. Okay, SMS, sending SMS, calling, then calling also includes with video calling feature, then your very important thing internet. Okay, so whatever the charges or whatever the policies has been subscribed by that particular user. Okay, so based on that only that user is liable to use network based services. Okay, so here what was our example is, okay, just try to again see, just try to remember what was our example is. The user was accessing or downloading some application or some content from server. Okay, so server can be anything through which the actual content is downloaded through public network or internet. Right now our user has entered into foreign network, okay, where the network is provided from this ISP2. Okay, so again Based on previous session, let's try to understand that this server or this user wish to download some content again from same server only. Okay, and little bit some session is allowed in the sense, okay, when this connection request delivery, receiving acknowledgement and so on, and having network access to this end device, okay, it is fine that this server is in a waiting state for a moment, and again the end device is connected to that particular server through the ISP2's network. Okay, so in short, again, based on previous session, this device will try to download the remaining content from that server. Okay, so in this case, what will happen is, again this server will try to communicate with the user, and again based on the previous session, it will try to download the same content again, or it will try to deliver the information to that particular end device. Now here is a very important point. You should know, even though the user has entered into foreign network, okay, what is the flow through which the communication takes place, or what are the components, or what are the sequence of components through which the information is exchanged. Okay, so always remember the sequence will be the end user, okay, end user through foreign agent to the internet service provider 2, again through network through internet service provider 1, okay, again from internet service provider 1 the internet and to the server. Okay, so this will be the channel or the way through which again the information will be exchanged, okay, between the first end device and the another end device, even though the user has entered into the foreign network. This is very important theory behind it, even though the user has entered into the foreign network. Okay, so I hope you have understood right now what is the okay, so how does the communication takes place even though the user has entered into foreign network. Okay, so don't get confused for such a kind of example. So if the question is asked, okay, explain what is COA or what is care of address, and how does mobile IP and stable IP differs, or what is difference between mobile IP address and stable network IP address, and so on. So you should explain in this way. You should consider some example to explain difference between them. You should compare what is mobile IP and what is or care of address and stable network IP address. So here I would like to share one information again. Okay, instead of this, if you consider the stable network, again this thing cannot happen in stable network. Okay, because I had already explained you the points, okay, related to the it might be range, okay, it might be range here, it might be IP addressing, okay, it might be multiple networks, it might be multiple ISPs involvement, very important thing. Okay, so which is available only in mobile type of network only. Okay, so I hope that you have understood what is mobile IP or LAN or what is COA. So I think first two questions at least you should have understood. Okay, that is how to write down the answers related to the such kind of questions, like what is mobile computing, what is mobile network, what is mobile IP, what is COA. So I had what I thought is the revision session should be kept based on the basics of mobile computing, and day to day life you are using internet, you are using your smartphones, so you should know in actual way how does it works, at least in theoretical manner, and what is the kind of information which is expected from the user, and through that information only that user will have access to the n number of services comes under that particular ISP2, and how it behaves when the user enters into the foreign network, and what is the flow again through which in actual way the user shares the information with the and another end user, and so on. Okay, even though if you consider same flow, what happens if the user has entered into the foreign network, if say this user wish to dial some wish to make some voice call or wish to send some text message and so on, so again the flow will be similar. Okay, from user to foreign agent to internet service provider to through the network again to the ISP1 and to the relevant user, okay, who might be available in another network. Okay, very simple. In a very simple way, the communication takes place even though the user has entered into foreign network. Okay, so I hope you understood what is the flow even though when the user has entered into foreign network, and which sort of information is used to identify that user, and who are the participants or involved users or components, when such kind of network is active, and the end devices and the networking devices interacts through that particular network. Okay, so this is very general thing. Okay, so I hope you have understood right now what is care of address, what is your system's IP address. That is your normal IP address which is assigned by the home agent, or who deals with the end user when the user is available into home network, and who deals with the user when the user has entered into the foreign network. Okay, and how does the user interacts or how does the communication takes place even though the user has entered into foreign network, and so on. Okay, so this is a very basic theory, and I hope you have understood right now in a better way. At least those who were absent for my actual theory lectures during normal academic days. If you have any query, just text me or you can contact me on WhatsApp. Okay, and again I'm repeating same thing. So here the first 2 units, little bit revision is done. Okay, revision in the sense what I thought is you should the brief point should be explained with respect to this question paper and with respect to the working components, so that at least some sub components will be cleared from the first 2 units. Okay, so here in next point, okay, that is in the next theory session possibly I'll try to explain the introduction to some communication technology used in mobile computing. It might be 3G, 4G, GPRS, LTE, that is long term evaluation, what is UMT is. Okay, that is I'll try to explain you the brief answers for question 3 and question 4 only, not in more depth, and the rest of the part, that is how should we how you should write down the answers for the question 4, 5 and 6, which I had covered recently, okay, in my theory lecture sessions, which has been already uploaded on Edge. Okay, so I hope you have understood in more depth, that is what is mobile network or what is mobile computing, and how does it differ from stable network, and including its mobile IP addresses or its addressing part even though. Okay, thank you.